Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. It's Dr. Janice Hooker Fortman with Relationship Matters. I hope everyone is doing well today. I'm just going to get on my soapbox just for a half second. I have had both of my shots and I just had my booster. So I'm ready to it's been a couple of weeks since I had the booster. So I'm ready to get out there, to socialize, to feel safe. And if you want to get out there, socialize, feel safe, and be safe as far as other people are concerned, get your vaccine. Now, I asked this question of some people. And I said, do you want to be a millionaire? And guess what? I got some no's. And I'm like, no, I don't want to be a millionaire. And I'm like, why not? Because I want to be a multi-billionaire. I thought, oh, okay. I understand that. So if you want to learn to be a multimillionaire, you are in the right place, because I have someone with me today. And after this episode, I know I'm going to be a multi-billionaire. And who do I have? I have the Maverick millionaire. I have Paul Finck. So let me tell you a little bit about Paul. He is one of the foremost authorities in business and personal development. In his over 3 decades of sales, marketing, and entrepreneurial experience, Paul has moved over 20 million in real estate transactions, sold over 30 million in informational products, and he has run over 250 live events. When I grow up, I want to be just like Paul. He's worked with some of the best known speakers in the world to take their events to the next level. And he's coached entrepreneurs and small business owners from around the world. He's helped them to build businesses and create an abundant future for them. He is well known for his success and his awesome family, which I want to talk about. And he's appeared on Good Morning America, CNN, the Jane Pauley Show, the Montel Williams Show. He's also appeared in Parents Magazine, so that means he's a great parent and family man. And today he's on my show. So when you desire a real difference in your personal or financial world, and you crave a strategic game plan, or you're looking to build a great team and maximize your income dramatically in the next 12 months. So that means November 2022. Paul Finck is the Maverick for you.
The Maverick universe is about hope. The Maverick universe is about change. It's about understanding that you have the power within you to create anything that you want, to manifest anything that you want. You want to talk about how to juggle, how to balance, how to create it all. That's what I've done, and done it with a gusto, done it with a passion, and done it with a thrill that most people look at it and go, how? How did you make all this happen? You want to come with excuses? You want to say that you can't for one reason or another? I challenge you to have more excuses why you can't than I do.
Paul Finck, also known as the Maverick Millionaire, discovered his passion 30 years ago when he entered the world of entrepreneurship. He's a renowned life coach and speaker who uses his own life experience to help his clients reach their full potential.
I want and desire and work every single day to be the greatest husband I can be, the greatest father I can be, and the greatest business person I can be. And I work every day to make that my life. All my approaches are counterintuitive, are different, to create a different result, to create a magnitude of power within you that manifests into a power in your external world where you can change the universe. My mission in life is to get this message out to millions and millions of people all around the world. That for you to be the leader in your community, for you to be the one to deliver this message in your community, in your societies. In that way, we're going to change the world. In that way, we're going to have a movement of people that are real powerhouse, that are real leaders, that can really guide the way for everyone to reach their fullest potential. The mission of the Maverick universe, the Maverick community, is to inspire people to be their fullest potential. To understand that we all have the possibility inside of us. And yet most people walk around with blinders on. Most people have no clue what their possibilities are. They have no clue what they could do. You see, here's the great news. Once you understand that it's in your power to move, it's in your power to create something different, it's in your power to control your destiny, you can make anything happen. You can create the abundance in your life like that.
The journey to Paul's success was filled with dizzying heights and staggering lows. But he managed to utilize his situation and take charge of his life, making the Maverick universe the life-changing powerhouse it is today.
There's never a time to sit back on your laurels, to kind of just glide. There's too much to do. Come join me, come hang out, spend time in the Maverick community with me, and I'll show you a life that you could only imagine, because it's a life that I've been able to create.
Woo! Hello, Paul.
Hello to you, Dr. Janice. How are you?
I'm doing great. And how are you?
I am doing awesome. Would you expect anything less?
No, I would not. You know what? I was going to say, that was the question that I asked, and I thought, how's he going to answer that? I know that you are awesome, and it's great to have you. I know you have a lot of valuable information for us, and I know we all want to know the Maverick way of being a millionaire. So before we get into just exactly what you do, I got a question for you.
Shoot.
What did you do? What was your career before you decided to get on the path you're on now?
Great question. The journey has been an interesting one, although not necessarily subdivided so easily, although there was some dramatic moments. My journey, I've been an entrepreneur for 35 years. Ever since I graduated from college, I went right out of college and went into straight commission sales. I was in the medical field first, sold almost everything there is in the medical field. Then I did the same thing in the dental field. And either it was straight commission or I had my own distribution companies. And so about 6 months out of college, I hired my best friend to work for me. About 1 year out of college, I started my first real official distribution company. And I had about 6-7 salespeople that were working for me continuously. And so it was a jump start right into being the leader, being the one. There's always a challenge with that. is that when you start out that young, and I was 22 years old with my first major company, and everyone was looking to me for the answers. Well, in looking back, and we both, after a few years of experience, you begin to realize, no, he knew nothing. And so I got stuck and really stuck in a position where I didn't have the people to lean on. I didn't have the people to ask. I didn't have those relationships, if you will. And it was all supposed to come from me, and I didn't have it yet. And I stayed in that space a long time. And it wasn't until I created my family, and that kind of gave me a jump start to getting real with who I am, which started about 20 years ago.
So when you say you created your family, you mean your business family, or your professional family, or your personal family?
My personal family.
Oh.
And that's really where my story begins, if you will, or at least this section of my journey. 20 years ago, I had already been an entrepreneur, been building up different businesses, and we were just about getting married as about 25 years ago, had our first, got married, had our first children, then had a couple more, and then a couple more. And when I say a couple, I do mean a couple. We have 6 children, 3 sets of twins. When the last set were born, it was 20 years ago now. And so I went from a family of 4, my wife and I and 2 children, to a family of 8 in 14 months. And so my whole financial makeup went completely upside down. A family of 4 and I was making about $100,000. $100,000 with a family of 4. You can afford to go on vacation once a year, go out to eat once a week, just about, and you're doing okay. With a family of 8, there's no way. You disconnect from everything. You don't have enough money to survive. And so I really had to step up my own game, really look deep as to who I was, how I was operating, how I was moving in life, and create a different relationship on multiple different levels to move into the space I am now. And that's been an ongoing journey over the last 20 years that has cultivated now 20 years later. My youngest are 20 years old now, and just to created the life of our dreams versus the life we only see in our dreams.
All right. So that is when the light bulb came on.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. That's wonderful. And so you've been in Parent Magazine.
Yes.
Is that because of your 3 sets of twins?
Well, they do take notice when you have so many children, and 3 sets of twins. Only our story got a little bit more interesting. The first set are actually adopted. They're my nieces biologically. The second set's in vitro, and the third set's a surprise, totally natural. So the tagline was 3 sets of twins, 3 different ways. Everyone was paying attention to us, and Parent Magazine came and did our story.
Wow, that is wonderful. Your wife needs a trophy.
She does indeed. I will tell you, God bless her. She is the reason why I'm here. Talking about relationships, she saw more in me than I did in and of myself. And most people in relationships understand that concept, especially men. And that she built me up and really understood where we joke that she married me for my potential. That which we would never recommend for our daughters to do. Only she married me for my potential, and she saw more in me than I ever did of myself. She's the reason I'm here today.
That's wonderful. That is wonderful. And so let's get off into the Maverick Millionaire. So I understand that you say there are 10 core traits that people have when they want to create greatness. So can you go into a little bit into what these traits are?
We'll see how we can break some of this down for you. How's that?
Okay.
And so the first 8 that I would say we've got to pay attention to, we break down into an acronym, and it's Maverick, or M, results. M results, or Maverick results, so you can follow along with this. And some of the key traits, they sound, well, they sound so basic, and yet I want you to consider, as you hear each one of the components that I start talking about, is to understand, how is it that you're operating within that space every single day? See, all too often we hear advice, we hear information, and we go, yeah, I know that. We've got to take our know-it-all hat off, if you will, and really listen and absorb it, and then say, ask yourself, how am I applying this into my life every single day? Where does it show up? First one is really core, massive action. I heard you at the beginning, people were saying, oh, I don't want to be a millionaire. I want to be a multi-millionaire. And I hear that all the time. And the challenge is that most people saying that, well, they're still struggling with 5-figure, let alone 6-figure income. And they're talking about multi-7-figure income. And so we've got to walk before we run. We've got to run before we sprint, and really take step by step. And to go from here to here, it's going to take massive action, not just action, massive action. And it's what most people go, yeah. I've done this. Only I'm telling you, double time, triple time what you're doing. The R in results is talking about responsibility. All too often we look to blame, and man, over the last couple of years, that's been really prominent. And so it's so easy. And I've lived through, in 35 years of being an entrepreneur, I've lived through a lot of ups and downs in the economy. And what I can tell you is that I stopped listening to what they told me I was supposed to be, what they told me I was supposed to do. I learned that I could create my own economy. And so when I talk about 100% responsibility, I mean that you don't point fingers outside, point fingers at the economy or the government or your society. You say, it's all up to me. When I want to make it happen, I will find a way. That's 100% responsibility. And over the years, I've learned to activate that on an ongoing basis. And over the last couple of years, it didn't matter what was happening. I wasn't able to lean on that as an excuse why, oh, yeah, I'm not going to make my money. I'm not going to earn anything. I'm not going to create the lifestyle for my wife and my children. I'm going to have challenges financially because the economy was challenged. No, you double down, you find a way, because there is a solution to every challenge. If you haven't written anything down, that's the thing you want to write down. There is a solution to every challenge. And so that's what 100% responsibility looks like. Number 3 is energy. Not only do you want to take massive action, 100% responsibility, you want to bring 100% of your energy. And here's where people get really confused by this. They believe that there's a limited amount of energy that they can bring to the table, that it gets used up. Let me ask something. If you've been hanging out and working all day, let's say, and you come home and you collapse on the couch and you're looking to turn the TV on and you're just relaxing and you're just wiped, do you have any energy left to do anything more? What do you think?
I think you do have a little bit of energy left. You can find it if you want it.
There's a great quote that I heard once that said, negotiate with your body to bring up more energy to do what needs to be done. Negotiate with your body. what I find is that you're in that space. Imagine you're on that couch, you're totally exhausted, you've spent the whole day working, and you're just like, I'm done. And then you get the call from one of your best friends, and they say, hey, I'm just in town for the night. We've got to go out. I've got tickets to this great show. Are you ready? Can you be ready in an hour? What would you do?
You'd be ready in an hour.
You'd be, and you could party all night. You'd be out there, you'd go to dinner, drinks, go to the show, you'd have a great time. Where did that come from? Where did that, it came from within. You decided. And so when I talk about bringing 100% energy, 100% responsibility, there's no excuse. I started applying this into my life when my kids were small, because my dedication was to be the best father, the best husband, and the best business person I could be. And so there are times when I'd be on the couch and I'd be done, and my son would then come and say, hey, you want to play some ball? What do you do?
You go play some ball.
And you find the energy inside of you, and you get up with a big smile on your face and you go, hey, let's go, son. That is the epitome of what I'm talking about. And that's where most people miss the boat. And, connecting up, where's our energy connected to our relationships, paying attention to where you're spending your energy, and that you can spend it in all places when you decide. Really powerful. Next is structure. And structure has to do with not just like, and some people in business, they think of, oh, my entities, my LLCs, my S Corp, my C Corp. When I talk about structure, how are you structuring your day? How are you structuring your life? And do you utilize a calendar? Do you utilize a task list? Do you have certain habits and behaviors that you've learned to incorporate into your world on a regular basis to create the results that you want? Really important to pay attention to those daily routines. Also, often, we get up and we get dressed and we brush our teeth and we comb our hair and we do all the right things every single day, and we don't even think about it. All of a sudden, we're up, we're dressed, and it's been rote. It's been by design, and we just go through it. By the end of the first hour awake, we don't even realize that we've done anything, and we've done 1,000 different activities. What if you could design your whole day that way? What if everything you did was so organized and structured where you created habits on purpose? I talk about being on purpose with intent, where you created habits that you just did every day, and the habits were deliberately put in place to create a magnitude of results. How would your day turn out? Would you end up at the day and you just kind of went through almost brainlessly, but brainlessly in this case was on purpose, so you ended up in a place where you really wanted to be rather than just happen to be anywhere? There's levels of learning we talk about, and we talk about getting to the level of learning of being unconscious competence. That's what that is. So we don't have to think about how to brush our teeth just right. We know we do it automatically. That's being unconsciously competent. Imagine everything in your world, everything you do that creates money, that creates lifestyle, that creates happiness, that creates relationships, you do unconsciously. That it's just automatic. That money and abundance and joy and happiness, it just rolls to you. You don't have to work for it. That's what we're talking about here. The U in results. So Maverick results, the U is unstoppable resolve. They've done a ton of studies on really what creates success and what creates the magnitude of success. And they studied highly wealthy people, what they do, how they accomplish things. And unstoppable resolve was one of the key components. It's an adversity quotient that they studied, and your ability to manage stuff coming at you, and your ability to keep taking the steps forward, regardless of what's happening, regardless of the blocks and fears, regardless of the obstacles in your way, that you keep moving forward. That's the secret to success. As Rocky Balboa says, it's not how hard you hit, it's how hard you can get hit and keep on moving forward. That's how winning's done. And all too many people, they get hit, and we see this evident in the last couple of years. People got sideswiped by so many things recently, and they let it stop them. Never, ever, ever be stopped. I'm a bulldog. I keep moving forward regardless. I've got a vision and a dream that I am building, and nothing's going to stop me. That's how winning is done. And that's how you create yourself to be millionaire and multimillionaire, is to hold on to that dream and keep on moving forward. There's a ton of information in all these components, a ton of components in each one that we could do a deep dive in, and want to make sure that you have access to all that by the end. But I want to get through some of these key components, and we can do a deeper dive with questions or anything else that you want in other times that we can get together. The L in results is leverage. Highly wealthy people and people that are able to make 6-figure, 7-figure, multi-7-figure and beyond have learned how to leverage time, money, and people. What we mean by that is that we've learned to utilize a little bit of effort and get a maximum amount of results. Use a little bit of money and get a maximum amount of return. Use a little bit of relationship capital, if you will, and get a maximum amount of engagement. All these components in leveraging time, money, and people create a magnitude of results for yourself that ends up magnifying everything that you do. The next in results is T, time value. Oh my gosh, time value. And if we have some time at the end of this, there's a great gift I want to give as well before we close out. Only time value. The people that are highly wealthy, that create high levels of success, have figured out their value of the time, of their personal time, and their relationship to time. What do I mean by this? It's, first of all, how much are you worth per hour? You want to devote an hour of time. How much do you expect back in return for that time invested? Now, oftentimes time gets lost in our day. We lose it to activities. We lose it to engagement with other people. We lose it. And when I say lose it, I mean that you didn't intentionally use that time for that purpose, that it just kind of skittered away. When we're watching TV, the time disappears. We get mesmerized by what's on TV and the hours click away. Imagine spending that time more productively. I talk about the highest and best use of your time. Do you know what that looks like? How to utilize your time effectively? Most people squander it. They don't value it at all. We value money. We want the money in our life. We want great things. We want lifestyle. We want a big bank account. We want great cars, great houses. And all that million and that multi-million-dollar figure that you have in your head. Imagine this, that someone steals your money. You're walking down the street and someone robs you. They take your wallet, your purse. Would you get mad? Would you get angry? You'd want to chase them down, maybe tackle them, make sure they got arrested. Whatever the case may be, you're really upset because they took your money. Do you get as upset when they take an hour of your time? When they squander your connection with them? When they squander your minutes in your day? Do you get as upset? Do you get as annoyed? As mad? I will tell you, when you begin to value your time as much as you value your money, you will have much more money to utilize in your life. Time value. Paying attention to that. We've got some great, I advise people to really track their time and do a time log. I don't know whether you've ever done that. Do a time log where you actually track every 15 minutes exactly what you did during the day. And then you go back and analyze where you spent your time. All too many people, when they do it honestly, because it's self-evaluation, when you do it honestly, you find how much time you're squandering on things that you never even thought of. I got on an app on my phone and just for fun, and it only took a couple minutes, and then all of a sudden 45 minutes went by. Do you know how much you could do in 45 minutes? Imagine, if you will, you found all this wasted time, all this time that you were just kind of squandering away without any purposeful intent. And you just took that time and you decided to, I don't know, write the book you've been dreaming of writing your whole life. Plan out your business plan that you've been avoiding for the last year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. Decide to create a new world for yourself. And you just spent 15 minutes, half hour, 45 minutes a day working on your future dreams. In a year, where would your life be? Most people squander their hours, their days, their minutes. They don't recognize how much they can move everything. The last and the S in this, results, is solution creator. Most people who have created a magnitude of money in their world, a magnitude of abundance, they've created either a service or a product that solves challenges. They create solutions. The highest and best use of your time is creative endeavors. Figuring out how to be creative and create something that can really solve a challenge and serve other people. That's where the real abundance comes from. And so you've got to be a solution creator in everything I do. And I travel around teaching and training, and I coach people at all levels in business and personal life. I help them find the solutions that elude them. And I present those solutions to them so that they can create a better life, so that they can create a magnitude of results. And in doing so, I create an abundance of joy and happiness for myself and everyone around me. Be clear, be a solution creator. That's the M results, or the Maverick results components. And I've got a couple extra things that I want to add to that equation, if you will.
Well, okay, but let's come back. I've got to take a quick break.
Go right ahead.
Then when we come back, add those two extra components.
Perfect.
So we shall return. so happy that your relationship with your daughter has improved. We are back.
Hey.
Paul, you had 2 extra value pieces that you want to give us.
At the very least, yes. So the last 2 is really pulls it all together because, you started out saying they say, oh, do you want to be a millionaire? They're like, no.
Right.
I've actually heard people say they don't want money. So I've actually heard them shun. And that's where I thought you were going with that at first. And because people get scared, people think that money will change them. And what I found is that money is a magnifier, and money will either enhance you to enhance all your greatness and all your joy and all your happiness, and it'll create an enhancement. Or if you're not so much and you're not a great person, that component of your world will get enhanced too. And so it's not about the money. That being said, the other side of the story is we want massive abundance. We want the multi-millions now. We want that great abundance in our world. And I hear that. And then people, when you get into their day-to-day life, there's a comma at the end of that. It's not a period. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is that they say, I want multi-millions. However, don't bother me on weekends, late at night. No. Listen, I'm not going to, I'm kind of busy with a lot of things going on. So don't bother me today. And they won't go the extra mile. And so their clarity of what it looks like, of what their real life could be like in the future, and their commitment to it is off track. You really want the millions. You really want to create a new life for yourself, which is, let's be real, it's not about the money. It's about what the money can bring you. I mean, one of the greatest things that I recognized early on, I wanted to do for my children, I wanted to create a great life for them. And one of the things that really motivated me early on was to create the ability to pay for all their college funds. And so that my kids could choose. And I remember my daughters, who are now 25, when they were 17 and they started to look at colleges. I said, you can go to any college that you want in the world. Do not look at price. Do not look at anything else other than what's going to serve you and what you really feel the passion for to go to that particular place. And I gave them that option. And when I did, I got to tell you, now some people say, oh, you shouldn't do that, give that much to your kids, they should work for it. I taught them work ethic in other ways. This was the thing that I did to know that I could. And I gave them that gift. And now all 6, we've been able to pay for all their colleges. One of the greatest things, my daughter now is at 25, has a full bank account. And just recently she said to us, she said, none of that would have happened if it wasn't for you, because I'd still be paying off all my debt. And so it was one of the greatest thank yous I've heard in a long time, in just being grateful for what she had and understanding why she had it. And it was so cool. But that's what the abundance can bring you. What do you have to do to get it? Crystal clear clarity as to where you want to go. You've got to get really clear with what it looks like, what it feels like, what that dream life is about. We talk about vision boards. We talk about visualizing the future and really putting yourself in that moment. But you've really got to get clarity as to what the business model is. What's the structure of your day? What are you doing every day to get there? And then, so people write down their dreams, write down their goals. We create clarity around it. And then I say, so how committed are you to get this? Everyone's like, yes, of course I'm committed. You see, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, what's your commitment level to do whatever it takes to get there?
I don't think a lot of people have that, that do whatever it takes. They'll say that they're committed, but I would say, now this is just me in my opinion, that most people's levels of commitment are probably between maybe, I'd say around 7 and 8.
Yeah.
Between 7 and 8. That's, what I think.
And what does that lead us to? Is a 7 and 8 enough?
Not if you really want to get where you really want to get.
Hold on. So I say I want $1 million, but no, I really don't want it. No.
I want it, but but I got some other things that I need to do, or you lose your focus. Yep. Just like what you said, your friend calls, even though you say you're tired, your friend calls and says, I'm in town, let's go out, and you jump up and you go out.
Right.
Where you could have spent that time.
Oh, well, true. He made a choice to decide, all right, I'm going to go write my book over the next couple hours. Yes. and it's so interesting that people, they make a lot of excuses for why their life is the way it is and why they have the results that they have. And it's always, this, that, and the other thing. Only when it comes down to it, it's the clarity of vision and it's their consistent, persistent behavior that creates a commitment to their future. It's not by happenstance that the people that have money have money. It's not by mistake that the people that are successful are successful. We look at the Olympics, for instance. Olympic level players, what do they do for years to get that gold medal? Without any reward, without any accolades, without any real pleasure, they have deferred gratification, not immediate gratification. And they work day after day after day, getting up early, staying late, doing whatever it takes to create that gold medal that one time in their life. It's an amazing model to look at, and most people don't have that level of commitment. And the challenge is that they keep kidding themselves with the dreams that they put into place. And so here's what I advise. I want you to take a really good look, and all the people that are listening, take a really good look at what your goals are. Write them down and then say, all right, on a scale of 1 to 10, what is it? Am I a 10? Am I an 8? Am I a 7? If it's anything other than a 10, I want you to do one of two things. You're either going to increase your commitment level on that item, or you're going to lower your goal. And that's okay. You get to live the life that you really want.
Mm-hmm.
but you've got to do one or the other. By continuously going after the items or writing down the items that you're not committed to, you're condemning yourself to continuously being disappointed with where you're at, without really understanding that you are exactly where you were meant to be, and you committed at that level. It's up to you.
So I got a question that came in.
Shoot.
And the question is, there's a saying that more money, more problems. Is that true?
No. There's also a saying, I've been rich and I've been poor, and man, it's much better being rich. Here's the challenge. It's not more, it's different. And I believe that there's problems across the board, and I call them challenges, that everyone gets their fair share of stuff that gets piled onto their world. And it's how we engage with it, how we relate with it, how we interact with those challenges that really makes the difference with where we end up. And so, yeah, there's challenges here versus there. Being poor, man, you can't tell me that being poor is a cakewalk. There's challenges not having enough, and stress level and angst and relationship challenges. There are challenges being rich too. It's just different. And I'd much rather have, the rich challenges than the poor. And when you learn how to take it all in, and I teach like stress management, because it's all up to you. I don't have a lot of stress in my life. I live a pretty good life, and I don't have the stress because I've learned how to manage things, challenges, engagement as it comes to me. For instance, most stress, where it comes from, looking to control things that you have no control over. And once you begin to recognize that, and you're like, oh, well, I'm looking to control this person's behavior instead of just engaging with it. I'm looking to control the stock market instead of learning how to manipulate or operate within it. I don't look to control things you don't have control over. And all you have control over is yourself.
Very true. Very true, Paul. Now, you are the Maverick Millionaire, which means to me that you do things differently than what most people would do, or your path is, the path that you walk down is different from someone else's path. So do you, or did you have a mentor that led you in the direction where you are now, your direction that you're going?
Always. I'm a coach and I'm a product of the product. And there is nobody in high level of success that does not have mentors and coaches. Nobody in any industry, in any field. And then as entrepreneurs, we think, no, I got this. I'm independent. And you need people that can see the outside, can see your 10,000 foot view, can see the back of your head when you can't. And so, yes, I had multiple coaches, particular ones over the years that really were catalysts that shifted me in huge components, and then magnitude of minor coaches and mentors that really moved me in different stages of my life. Highly important.
Okay, all righty. And another question that came in about leverage. And what they asked, how do you know when you have leverage and what to leverage?
That's a larger component and a larger training.
Okay.
I've got some training that I can help you out with. However, that's a larger picture.
Okay.
How do you know? With everything, it's trial and error. There's a certain amount of trial and error. There's a certain amount of grabbing hold of mentors that'll show you the steps. There's certain amount of mathematical equations when we're talking about leveraging money, for instance, understanding that wealthy look at return on investment, whereas middle class or poor look at the cost of things. And that's a simple equation as far as leverage goes. Understanding that that if I spend $5 to get 10, that's a great thing. Well, how many $5 would you spend to keep getting 10 for every 5? Where would you find your $5? Where would you keep finding more and more $5 when every $5 gave you 10? That's mathematical leverage, and that's a business economy on how to keep growing your wealth. Wealthy people know how to access money and access funds. Ever hear the expression other people's money?
Oh, yes.
Well,
OPM.
that's so much of what leveraging on the money part is concerned. Leveraging on time. How do you spend, how do you create more time in your day? And do I have an opportunity to give a free gift?
Yes, I was going to say we got about 6 minutes.
Great. You want to really learn how to leverage time. Have I got a gift for you where you, by the end of the training, and this is 5 webinars that I go into the magic of creating time at whim. Being a magician where you can just create what I call Maverick time, where you have imagine an extra hour, an hour and a half every single day. Where did it come from? You're doing all the things you were doing before, only now you have that extra hour every single day to create magnitude. That extra hour every day means you have more than a full day at the end of every month. That means that you have an extra 2 weeks every year. What would you do if you could just disappear off of the world for 2 weeks and do whatever you wanted to do every single year on top of what you've already done to now? Do you think that would make a huge difference in where you would end up?
A huge difference. So how do we get that?
That's a Maverick. So here's what you want to do. Go to www.getyourmaverick.com. Getyourmaverick.com. It's totally free. Absolutely my gift. Getyourmaverick.com. And you're going to have 5 days of training, 5 webinars that are come to you. There's going to be exercises. There's going to be workbooks. And that's absolutely correct right there on the screen. And I'll even bring you some consultation with me. And I've got training coming up that I'll share with you as well. That is 3 full days where I absolutely go into all these components of leveraging, teaching you how to engage with relationships, how to engage with business relationships and personal, how to really maximize your engagement with them so that you can create the maximum results in your life.
That is awesome.
Oh, yes.
That is awesome. You were talking about time, and I wrote down in big letters, time. And that's something that you cannot get back. And, I'm going to do what you said about when I get up in the morning, and I'm going to be truthful with myself and write down what I'm doing.
Oh my gosh.
And in the end, I'll probably want to throw the piece of paper in the garbage.
No. And Dr. Janice, you've got to. You do this, I'll commit to you. I'll spend a little time and I'll show you some of the next steps. And in my Get Your Maverick Time component, it'll show you what to do once you do that journal and how to really maximize the aspects to it, because you've got to learn what to eliminate, what to double down on, what to delegate. So there's ways to analyze after you write everything down. And that's all explained in the gift I gave you.
Well, Paul, thank you so much.
You're very
You
welcome.
have given us so much value and so much information. Um, I really appreciate it. And I know my audience, there were quite a few comments, but, not questions, but comments from different people. Just to let you know, from Tia Rogers, thank you for sharing valuable information. And Maxine Walker talked about time is money for everyone, and there were just quite a few. But I want to thank you, and my guests want to thank you for coming on and giving us all this valuable information.
You're very welcome.
I really appreciate it, and I'm looking forward myself to get your maverick.time.com, because I know I waste a lot of time.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about now.
I got to tell you, there's a component of 80-20 rule, and
Okay.
it always is in operation, which means we do, and this is the way you apply it, 80% of our time is spent wasted.
You know what? I believe
20% of our time creates 80% of our income.
I believe that.
And every aspect, how you keep moving the needle, how you keep moving yourself in your abilities and in your results, is to be aware of where this time is being wasted and how you can really sharpen your axe with it. I learned this, and I got to tell you, where I started all this concepts. When you're running multiple businesses, you want to keep a passionate relationship with your wife, and you've got 6 children. You get really clear with time management and understanding how to create magical time at the end of every day, because you didn't have any all day long.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Paul. We're at the end of this episode. This has been great, and you brought us so much value and so much information. And I'm going to keep this running over the lower third, just in case people didn't get a chance to write it down. But you can write it down: www.getyourmaverick.time.com. Thank you so much, Paul.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Dr. Janice. It's been an absolute pleasure. See you real soon.
All righty. Bye-bye. Wow, this has been great. A lot of valuable information. And I just started thinking about, I know I probably waste some time, a lot of time. But go to www.getyourmaverick.time.com. And guess what? What did we say at the beginning of it? Double your income in 12 months. Because I'm going to double my income in 12 months. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be a multimillionaire so that I can move to Oahu or Maui and just overlook the ocean and just be comfortable and just love my life even more. So this is Dr. Janice Hooker-Fortman with Relationship Matters. And I will see all of you again next week when we have another awesome guest. Have a beautifully blessed rest of your day. Bye-bye.